As you can see, I've added more details to the mill building. I've basically followed the same techniques that I did before, adding the parapet here along the top, figuring out where the vertical elements go, where the floors are, and so on. I just basically ran it all the way across. Sometimes it was a little bit more difficult to fit in down here on this angled edge, and that's not uncommon. The angled portions of the building proved to be problematic. One of the things you'll see that's different from what you saw before is there are fewer of these reinforced concrete vertical elements. And the reason for that is when I was putting together this wall, it wasn't going to go together evenly when spaced the way I had done the first building. But if I were to increase the distance, I think I went from a 12-foot span to an 18-foot span. It worked on this face, and coming back here, it worked on this face, and it works over here as well. And so what I got out of that was my initial guess of using the 12-foot spacing. It worked initially, but as I continued on working through the model, I realized it was the wrong value. And so I just basically pushed a few things around, removed the extraneous elements, and it's okay now. Now, next thing is doing a reasonableness check on my work. I noticed this, that if I measure from the bottom of the brick here to the bottom of the brick there, it's 13 feet, and on down to the bottom of this, it's 26 feet. So those spaces are right. But when I raise it up here, it's only 12.5 feet. And so that tells me I've done something not quite right, and this distance here is too tight. So in thinking about that, what I decided to do was drop these floors, and I'm going to select all of them, and I'm going to select these floors as well because the problem exists over here as well. And I'm just going to move everything down 6 inches. Okay, and now when I measure from bottom of the brick up, it's 13 feet, and it's 13 feet down. And so you can see by virtue of making all of these things components, it was very easy to make an adjustment that I was able to affect across the entire structure. Now, having done that, come down here and I see, well, now this basement section is probably too tall. So I'm going to just edit that component, and I'm going to drop it down 6 inches. I've got a little bit of something extra here that I probably don't want, and that's right in here. And I'm just going to delete that. Got extra line in there, extra line in there, and there we go. So now that is the same spacing as above. Not true over here, so I'll edit this one as well, and I'll push this down 6 inches. And again, because it's a component that I've stretched across the whole building, it applies everywhere. And now, of course, you can see now there's a gap here. And so thinking, okay, what do I really want to do with that gap? And I decided I'm going to get rid of the basement idea. And so I'll go back here to the original one, and I'm going to edit that, push it in 4 inches, get rid of the extra, get rid of that, get rid of that. Just a little bit of cleanup here. I'll go around and get 4 inches on the other sides and off camera, but I'm going to do this one over here first. I'm going to put this one in, also 4 inches. This over here goes in 4 inches. And I'll continue around again getting the rest of it positioned properly and doing my complete cleanup. But before I do that, I wanted to point out, now as a consequence of moving these this basement wall in 4 inches on every side, now it makes sense that these posts go all the way down to the foundation, and that the foundation itself has a top surface on it. So I'm going to add the top to the foundation, and that's easily done in SketchUp. You just basically connect 2 points, and it's going to figure out where the face is. And so that is now taken care of on this copy. Get rid of the copy. We go back and we see, yes, there it is. And then the posts. I've got all of these posts, and the easiest way to deal with the post is simply select one, use the Shift key to select a bunch more. I've got a whole bunch of them right there. I'm going to just drop those all at once, straight down 36 inches. I'm going to get another bunch of them wherever they happen to be. I don't even have to see it. I know they're going to go down 36 inches, so I type that. And I have the last set of posts, wherever they happen to be. Move them down 36 inches too. And now when I'm doing this move, I am paying attention that it's on the blue axis. I don't know if you noticed the cursor stepping out there, indicating it was a blue axis, but it was there. And I'm going to do this on the corners. I'm just going to grab one of the corner, bring it down 36 inches as well. Alright, and you can say, well, that looks great, except all this stuff up here at the top. Now there's a gap here at the top. And so I fixed that by giving me a face I can pull on and lifting it up. And that does all of those. And I can repeat the exercise over here on this post. Better pull this one out because it's not complete on the inside. So I'll do Control C, Control V. Yeah. So I have to add the line here. And now if I do this up 36 and then get rid of my temporary face. Don't need this copy out here in the open anymore. And you can see, you know, all these now look right. These are incorrect. If I grab one of those, Control C, Control V, add the face, pull it up 36, remove the temporary face, remove the extra copy. You know, once again, it's a component, so my changes apply to these other areas. Now, I'll continue around and I'll fix the components everywhere else. I don't need to do that on camera. But I wanted to show you how, you know, when you're doing one of these things, you will occasionally find that you've made a goof. And I wanted to point out that, yeah, I made a goof. And because there's so few individual unique elements in here, these are all basically copies of everything. Even though you goof, it's fairly straightforward to put them back together in the right order again.